This week has been an invitation to a new vibration, has it not? Yeah. I'm Reverend Karin Lewis. I am one of the senior ministers. You heard from Reverend Leslie, and I want to start off by acknowledging and really honoring each one of you who has made the decision to come into the sanctuary today, and each one of you who has made the decision to join us via the live stream. In that song by Daniel Nehmat, "Love is My Decision," it is so important to remember that giving of the love looks different for every person. So welcome. Welcome to you. Welcome to you. Welcome to all of us. To this new vibration, to this new experience, especially in community. Especially in community. You know, I think back, I started writing this series back in January. I knew I wanted to do a series on the art of belonging and really walk it out in that structure of a community. How does that look? I rewrote the talk for today 3 times this week. And I believe that at the very center of what is happening in the world right now, it is asking us to feel within, to connect within, for the answer that we receive, how to be with what is happening, is different for every person. And I think the biggest invitation in all of it is to check, where is my faith? Where is my judgment? What is irritating me? And that, my beloveds, is where our work lies. So today's service was always called the Art of Belonging Embodiment. I had visions of celebration of how we are with each other. There was lots of hugging and closeness in my vision. That changed. That changed. And when I talked with Mark about his song, what we really anchored into, because he did write the second song especially for today, what we really anchored into is that this, too, is an invitation for us to share our light. So towards the end of the service, we are going to have a lighting ceremony. And those of you at home, if you haven't had a chance already, please go find a pretty candle, put it right where you are. So the art of belonging. Thich Nhat Hanh tells this story that when the oppressors came and people were leaving, that they would go into these tiny boats. And there were a lot of people in this boat, and one day when this happened, there was a storm. And within the storm, the boat got very, very rocky. And the people in the boat thought they were going to die. And when fear took over, people got up, which added to the danger. And there was one voice that said, "Let's all sit down and hold one another. Let's sit down and hold one another." And one by one, that calm voice caused people to sit down and literally hold one another. I've been thinking about that story a lot. And as we are entering into this phase where we are being asked to observe social distancing, I think is the word, which I didn't know before this week. We are invited to translate that into what it means for us. If I am the calm voice that says, let's sit down and hold each other, and we can't do that in big groups right now, what does that mean to you? It might mean to take the time to really look at another. To really look at another. There's this beautiful greeting in a part of Africa that goes like this: I see you. When people see each other for the first time, when somebody is coming, they say, I see you. And the other one says, I am here. So let's start off this morning. Take a look around. See someone. And just say, I see you. I'm here. I see you. I am here. I think one of the beautiful things we are going to learn is how to let each other know that we matter, that we want to connect, and to feel that connection and that holding of one another when we don't touch. Wasn't that reading that Beverly shared amazing? I wonder if this person just wrote it this last 2 weeks. Or maybe they're from Italy and they had, a month and a half time to do that. Whatever, wherever it originated from, that is love for that person. Can you feel how that person reached out to touch us? And so here at the New Vision Center, we are engaged in these conversations. How can we reach out and touch one another? Lean in. I loved what I came across by Mark Miller. He says, draw the circle wide. Draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone. No one stands alone. And this message today is also going to be a message of realness. Because I can tell you, there were some moments this week where I was angry, where I was disappointed, where I simply said, no, not going to do that. I'm not going to cancel my flight to Germany. I am not going to. Well, and then I did. And what I felt in those moments when I had this no, it was my attempt to find peace, to find my faith, while fear was coming up. If I give in, if I don't go to see my dad, what else is going to shift? And I think it's so important that we have enough compassion for ourselves and for our fellow human beings, that when we are in the throes of fear, that we don't, on top of it, shame ourselves or another for it. Fear is one of those emotions that is like a tight fist. Let's all make a very, very tight fist. Feel that, the constraint. This is what happens to our brain when fear enters. Do you feel like there is an option for an elegant solution? No. Or there is a creative possibility that enters. No, because it is restricting. And then let it go. Open it up. It comes with a breath. It comes with a breath. When fear enters, scientists tell us that those higher vibration faculties of our brain literally shut down. They shut down so we can tend to, survival. And that's what happens. Some people dealt with their experience of fear by going to Costco or to any other store and clean out the toilet paper supplies. And wouldn't it be amazing if we could look at that and see it as an attempt, however futile, but as an attempt for them to deal with their fears? That's some of the only tools some people have. They're like, I need to have control over something. And I ask us, what have you been leaning into? What has given you that sense of, I have control over something this week? I noticed I got all of my books out, all of my books on community. These are my personal toilet paper rolls, Compassion. Let us really translate what we see in another, however unskilled we think their behavior is, and translate it to look at it with compassion. When I think about compassion, I often think about Mr. Rogers. Now, as you know, I did not grow up in this country, so I was introduced to him at a later age, but I love him. And I love this quote where he says, when I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. Yes. And haven't we noticed that this week? People who have the capacity to say, lean into me. I am here. And at the New Vision Center, we have many, many groups of people that I would call the helpers. The people who are willing to take a stand for when fear comes. Practitioners come to mind. Yes, practitioners are these wonderful beloveds who have dedicated not only their life to studying this teaching, but to living it, to being available when we are in the midst of not knowingness. That is who we can call. We can reach out. The other group of people is our congregant care team. And if you are part of the congregant care team, would you please rise and come a little closer so we can see you? There's Celeste and Judy and Janet and Pam and Suzanne and Gina and Tina. So these, we have the Ginas and the Tinas. Now, you might say, congregant care team, I don't remember having that service team here. It's because we changed the name. Thank you so much, everyone. Yes. Thank you for your service. The congregant care team used to be called the pastoral care team. And we felt, and the team felt, that it would make sense to update the name because it is really the intention of this beloved team to care for a congregant, often in times when extra care is needed, when there is an accident, when there is a hospital visit, when there is a new baby, those kinds of things. So if you come into a place where you feel like, this is not really what I want to talk to a practitioner about, but maybe I can reach out to this congregant care team, please know that these beloveds are available. And out there on the prayer table, as you walk into the foyer, there are prayer request forms, and there are also, I think they might still say pastoral care, but soon they will say congregant care request forms, yes, to step in. So thank you. Thank you to those who serve, and thank you to those who give them an opportunity to serve. As Jeff was saying, there's a lot of different things we're offering right now online in order to create opportunities for people to step in. Not only our 7 o'clock meditation every morning. I know that's a little early for some of you, because I don't ever see you there. But we also now added at 10 o'clock, just a gathering, a place where one can come in and feel connected and feel supported. And so I was thinking about, what else can I offer? What can I offer? And I thought the best thing to offer is what I have been doing all week to make it through this week. And it is called the Tonglen Practice. It is a practice from the Buddhists that invites in all of the feelings that we have, and then to transmute them in our heart space and pass it out back into the world as love and light. Because you see, what we know in this teaching is that if we feel fear and say, I don't want to feel that, and we just act like it's not there, it becomes bigger. It becomes bigger. And so this practice allows us to feel it, to invite it in, to not put all of those barriers up against it, and to know that in the heart of our heart, this transformative power that each of us has allows us to transform it and send it out as kindness, as peace, as light. And so I invite us into the practice, and then when we come out of it, whoever feels called here in the sanctuary and whoever feels called online, light a candle. Light a candle. Bring in the physical light into this world. So please join me as we allow our eyes to close gently. And we just continue to make space within ourselves to feel all of the emotions that we have. There might be tears, there might be sadness, there might be worry. Whatever those emotions are, we breathe in, we make them welcome. When we do this, we notice that our shoulders drop automatically because we don't put up this defense. We're breathing it in, and we're feeling the power of our heart space to transform it so that we may offer it up to the world as light. When we feel cleaned out within our own body, we have accepted all of the emotions within our own body, we can even draw that circle wider and invite others in who we know that are struggling. And without judgment, without thinking they should be doing things differently. We just open our heart space wider, invite in those emotions, and know that we can transform them into light. And if you feel called, come up to the front and light a candle and give in this physical realm light. Beverly, will you stand over there? You can come forward. We'll move it. Just connect with that which you want to bring forth into the world and step up and light a candle. Bring light into this world. And those who are waiting to light their candle and those who have already lit their candle, let us go into that space of the Most High in the very center of our being. As we continue to breathe in, whatever emotion wants to be cleaned and cleared and uplifted into the light. Feel your heart space expanding to include those around you. See the light giving you calm, solace, and comfort. Thank you. Allow this moment to become a touchstone in the center of your being. When you notice that fear is coming, that judgment is rising within. When you notice that you feel separate from the world, separate from the God of your understanding, allow this moment to remind you that we truly are one. And you can, yes. As we gather around the light, Thank you for sharing your loving kindness. Thank you for being one of the helpers that holds a space, that is willing to open their heart in ever new ways. For being a safe space for us to come when we are shining our brightest, and when we are unsure, when we feel worried. As we continue to breathe into our heart space, as these beloveds light their candle of truth, while we continue to hold the space, I offer these words of Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, who says faith is a mental assertion elevated to the plane of realization. It is beyond the mere quibbling and mumbling of words, for it identifies itself with reality in such a manner that reality becomes real to the believer. The invisible becomes visible to the mind, and the unseen real. So as we hold this space for these beloveds to share their light, we know that in faith believing, we together weave this safe container for all of us. For those who are part of the New Vision Center, whether you are currently in the sanctuary or joining us from home, or if you are anywhere in the world, we can wave and weave this container of love, of safety, of welcoming, of non-judgment, of peace, of loving kindness, of patience, of understanding. As we draw this circle wide and even wider, as we sing our song, as we know that no one needs to stand alone. How grateful I am to stand witness to these beloveds everywhere sharing their light. beloveds everywhere, being the helpers, being willing to share, to connect. Let our eyes rest on this light. And as we go forth, let us do so by the words of Rabbi Joseph. Every hand that we don't shake must become a phone call that we place. Every embrace that we avoid must become a verbal expression of warmth and concern. Every inch and every foot that we physically place between ourselves and another must become a thought as to how we might be of help to that other, should the need arise. And so we feel this walking out. We can tell that we all belong to one another and that we are here to figure this out together. I am so grateful you are on this journey with me. And so it is. Let us anchor into a prayer. I ask that all the practitioners and ministers of this beautiful teaching, please rise. Hold this cleared out space with me. As we recognize that there's one power, one presence, that the divine is right where I am, right where we are. That God is all there is. There is only one. There's only one of us. And so I speak my word for this one. I speak a word of ease and grace, of healing, of understanding and compassion that surpasses all understanding. I speak a word that all people may find their place, where they're held, where they're loved, where they're accepted exactly as they are. How very, very grateful I am. So grateful to have this feeling of belonging right here, right now, and to share it with the world. Thank you, life. And so it is.